Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Yinzer Brothers podcast. I'm TJ. I'm here with my fellow Yinzer brother, Tim, and we are the Yinzer Bros. Tim is donning the Rudolph, the fighting reindeer, the helmet, the face maskless helmet from when did you wear that, Tim? 1990 what?
It's none of your business.
Is that 95?
None of your business.
That was 89. So it'd be 98, maybe? 99?
None of your business.
Then he's got the Franco's Italian Army hat there too. Quite a plethora of headwear there, Tim. But that's to be expected because the Steelers had yet another victory. They beat the Seahawks. What was it, 30-23? And
am I gonna have to get this Mason helmet signed by Mason?
You might. I mean, you may have to get a regular Steeler one. And of course, if you show him that one,
no. It would be this one with the Mason Rudolph tag. I'm gonna make a pact right now for the world here right now. If Mason gets him to the playoffs and wins one game in the playoffs, I will find a way. My mission, I will get this signed by Mason.
That would be awesome. So, I mean, they won 30-23. If I remember correctly, I think my score prediction was 27-17 or 20?
Something
I forget
like that.
now. So, you know what? So, what do you think of Mason? Holy crap.
TJ, what did I tell you? What did I tell you? I think I said they need to run the ball 67 times last game.
Devin Bush, yeah.
They ran it, I think, 47.
That's good.
Or 49, one of the two. TJ, Mr. Zero just did not disappoint at all. Dude, when you got Danny Smith trash talking, you stink.
That was awesome. That was awesome. What was Danny Smith saying? Bring it.
It's coming. It's coming.
Oh, it's coming.
It's Devin Bush. You might as well just. All I did was zoom in on Zero, getting his rear end just knocked up and down the field. Kevin Colbert should be put in prison for trading up to draft that dude.
I know. I agree. No, he could be one of the biggest busts in history. So what did you think of, obviously, the rushing attacks looking pretty strong. Now, again, Seattle's not the 49ers, but I don't put them in the bottom tier of the NFL either. I mean, they're in the hunt.
What, you talking about their defense?
No, I'm talking about them as a team. I mean, they took out
them as a team.
Philly
their defense
the week earlier.
Their defense stinks, TJ.
Well, I get that, but they beat Philadelphia. What did they beat Philly, like 23-20 or something?
TJ, news is in. New news. Philadelphia stinks too.
Yeah, they're kind of imposters. But so the Steelers, they ran the ball great. I mean, they got a heavy running attack. And Mason continued his dominance. And Pickens looks like a freak of nature, dude.
Oh, I know. I'm having arguments with people there in Chicago trying to tell me that he's better than or that what's his name? The guy they traded for from Carolina, the Bears.
Shoot, I know who you're talking about.
If you had to trade those two, either him or Pickens right now, who would fetch more in a trade?
Pickens. Hands down, Pickens.
I trust me. I understand that. I'm like, you people are dum-dums out here. Just dum-dums. I think 90% of the people out here have pot roast brain. They do.
They are. So let me show you. Give me some wide receivers that Pickens reminds you of.
Randy Moss.
Yeah, to me, it's funny. To me, the first one I see, I think of Randy Moss. I don't hear that a ton. I hear all these other. I hear Deshaun Jackson, all these other guys. To me, he looks like Randy Moss.
That Jonathan Vilma should be kicked off any broadcasting period because that dude is brutal. To compare to Deshaun Jackson, no. Deshaun Jackson couldn't hold that dude's jockstrap. No,
that's true. I think he reminds me of Randy Moss. I just think he does. He's got the length like Randy. I mean,
he is length like, and he's crazy like Randy was.
Yeah, but Randy, he settled down a little bit. I mean, he was effective. He got his.
I don't know, man. He's just a freak. He looks like a ginormous Avatar plane. That's what he looks like. He looks like ginormous. Him, like if you had him, like, can you imagine him and the dude from Jacksonville on the same team? If they're like Trevor Lawrence, those two would be throwing like two avatars to each other.
They would.
Insane.
So here's the subtle move too in the game that I like too. I think the last few weeks. How about the subtle move of Pat Peterson? I mean, he's looked pretty solid to me as a safety.
Oh, Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to buy him another year with the Steelers because I think they're going to move him to safety alongside Minka. I think you're going to see a lot more three safety at some point going on, when everybody's healthy in there.
No, I agree. I think that's fantastic. Did you have any other observations of the game last year or last week?
I mean, they didn't play scared, which was nice. Especially when they went out and on the when they got the ball in the fourth quarter to kill it. I mean, I don't think anybody thought they were going to throw a deep pass or throw a pass to Pickens. I thought you were going to run it 3 times and get out of there.
Yeah. Dude, that was crazy. Holy cow. That was crazy.
Or
how about even like the end of the game? No, they're just going to run it out, and they throw that slant to Pickens.
That's what I mean. I couldn't believe it. On first down, I was looking around like like the gif, the that was the monkey guy. He's like looking with his eyes, like
yeah.
That's what I was like when I did. I was like, Mason. They were running so bad. I mean, Mason just had to make a couple passes because that was just a dominant rushing. You knew by the end of the first quarter. I was like, at some point in time, Seattle's just gonna collapse because I think the Steelers had the ball like 10 minutes in the first quarter.
Yeah, it was brutal. So this shows you. I mean, yeah. I don't think Mason's he's not the gift to the world, but
no.
To have a functional quarterback. I mean, is that what they're missing? Is that the biggest missing? I mean, is that the missing piece?
It's getting weird because I'm not holding my breath as much when they go out on offense and I see them pass the ball. I'm going,
yeah.
Before you'd be like, but like now, and I'm not. They're not running every first down.
No.
What you knew the play was like, we're going to run on first down. They probably going to run it again on second down. It's going to be 3rd and 7. That's what you're going to see all game. And you're not seeing that anymore. You're seeing 3rd and 4s, 3rd and 3s. But they are running the ball a hell of a lot better. Najee has turned into an absolute monster these past 4 weeks.
So what do you? I mean, what is that when it comes to Najee? So I mean, you keep him.
I think at this point in time, you've got to pick up his 5th-year option, which is I think like $9 million for that 1 year, which isn't that bad because you're going to be cutting Chooks and some other dudes. So I mean, I think you have to have another year with that 1-2 punch. Those two.
Actually, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I think Jalen isn't he an unrestricted free agent? Oh, he's restricted.
He's a restricted free agent.
So what does that mean? Like, what does that mean as far as like what they got to give him? Because he's got to be making league minimum or close to that, right?
I think what that means is they can. I don't know what it means. I think it's something about they could. He could go out, but they have the ability to match being a restricted.
He's a guy they got to tie him up a little bit because boy, he's a unique bowling ball, man. He adds those two together. When you get a good combination like that, you just keep them together.
Yeah. Their defense was still leaky, man. I mean, and I think I told you before that game, I was like, I wasn't worried about the offense. I was worried about the defense. Mm-hmm. And I thought, I still think that would have been a different game if that Seattle running back didn't get hurt.
Yeah,
because that dude was gashing them.
He was
gashing them. So,
well, I mean,
you gotta get more pressure. You got to get more pressure, dude.
It was funny. I thought like TJ had a pretty ordinary game. He didn't look like TJ. I'll tell you who impressed me was Herbig. Holy cow, he's got
two snaps. He's got 2 snaps, and he had the game change and play.
He's quick. I think I like him as a change of pace. You let these guys lean on these guys for a while. He's got that. I forget when he came out of college, they talked about that. I forget what matrix it is, where he's got his lateral movement is as quick. It's like an elite wide receiver, which is, I mean, those big guys, what do you do as a big tackle? You can't grab them. And I'll tell you what, stinking Darnell Washington with some of those running plays is mauling
people out of the club, dude. Throwing people out of the club, dude.
Mauling people, which is exactly, who's kind of losing his spot a little bit, and I don't know what they're going to do with him is Hayward. Hayward's like, he's not quite kind of like the right size. I'm talking about Hayward, tight end Hayward. He's not big, got good hands, but he's not going to move a ton of D ends. What's he going to do?
No, put him at center.
Yeah, we need a center. Cole, he's.
I mean, I thought Mason Cole suited up for Alabama against Michigan. I was like, get Cole out of there. Get him out of there.
The double agent. So we played. We came away with the victory. They needed it. We needed it. It was a battle, and I'll tell you what, the Steelers came through. So again, we got the last game of the season. We'll be talking about how we match up with the Ravens, who's resting almost everybody. But before we get there, and we talk about that and our possible path to the playoffs, let's take a look at the Yinzer mailbag. What's the Yinzer mailbag? Is when you, the fan, get to ask us anything you want. You can submit your questions to yinzerbros@gmail.com. And if you're lucky enough, you'll get to be heard on this international podcast. We're gaining steam, Tim. Hey, I actually looked, a few of our videos, one of them's got almost 700 views.
Which one is that?
I don't know. It must have been, I don't know. It might have been one of the Vegas ones, but that's not hate, Tim. That's pretty impressive.
Stopped getting hate mail past couple weeks too, which is nice.
So what do you got in the Yinzer mailbag?
Okay, Mush, like he half the time he comes with answers and half of them just statements. So I'll get around whatever it is. He goes, how quickly the season has passed by. Right now, what is your highlight for the season?
My highlight for the season, I'm going to give two highlights for the season. First, the emergence of George Pickens. Mm-hmm. I think he is moving from potential to factor. Mm-hmm. And I mean, how can you not go with Mason? I mean, as much as, dude, he just in 2 games, he wins this one. He throws for 300 yards and a couple tutties this game, and I know that they're resting everybody. Dude, that's something we have not seen a Steeler quarterback do since Ben's been gone. What are your highlights?
I mean, I'm going to take this in a different perspective. My highlight for the whole entire season being in Vegas at that game. That was my highlight for the season. I mean, probably top thing is getting the picture with Le'Veon Bell with me. It looked like we kidnapped Le'Veon Bell. It looked like two Muppets. It just next to Le'Veon Bell. And I will tell you,
that tailgate party was lame, though. That tailgate party was lame.
For me, one of the biggest mistakes is not having that shirt on. The hostages.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it. I go, oh, that would have been like. Can you imagine that Muppet picture with the Tomlin saying we do not have hostages on it with Le'Veon Bell? They would have been making T-shirts about that picture just like that.
They would have been. You're right. No, that is a highlight of the year. Yeah,
for me, that's a highlight. Low light. What's your low light for the season?
Well, I'll tell you what, that 3-game. I'll tell you what, I don't know why. It was like somebody kicked me in the gut with Belichick's team that bad.
I've never been lower.
And then to have him beat you, I mean, there's no Brady. They stink. They're terrible. And they kicked us in the gut. And anybody but Belichick. Anybody but him.
That was like, again, I think I said it when they lost them. That was like New England. That was like Denver when they lost in the playoffs. Oh, yeah, I never been that was like rock bottom for me.
We get that one of those 3 games.
That had to have been rock bottom for me because the following week in Indy, that didn't even really dent me. I wasn't even really sad about it. I was like, oh, this is what they are. But I was devastated. It was like this is what rock bottom feels like.
The chances of them losing, even if they win one of those 3 games, just one. We're not in this. You called it. We're in the same position we're in every year. They win one of those 3 games. It just kills you.
This double agent Mitch. Oh,
he's terrible.
I don't want any Chicago. I don't want any more Chicago trash. I know you like Fields and you're saying
I do like Fields. Yeah.
I don't want it. It's Chicago trash.
But you know what the Bears
Chicago
are do?
trash. It's Bears
the
trash.
Bears are going to be the Bears. You know what they're going to do? They're probably going to keep Fields and ruin him. Or what's funny? Or if they get rid of him, they're probably going to try to bring in, just who they are. Maybe Russell Wilson. Maybe, hey, bring in somebody. Why don't you bring in your Minnesota guy who's been kicking your tail for all those years, and we'll get a couple years out of him. They stink. No, do you trust their front office with anything?
People out here do for some god awful reason. I just sit back and I go until that. And God love her soul, 101 years old, Miss McCaskey passes away. It's going to be the same old clown car. Just running out on the field. That's all it's going to be.
Well,
It's going
think
to be really
about this.
funny when they get smashed by Green Bay this week, and they'll probably be firing everybody. Don't worry. Once they get smashed by Green Bay, Fields won't be there, their coach won't be there, their
Yeah.
GM won't be there. They'll be firing everybody.
Well, it'll be like a yard sale. We can pick up a few pieces at the yard sale. But the 86 Bears. You know how long ago that was, Tim?
Yeah, dude, I was 6 years old, TJ. I was 6.
That's almost, Tim. That's almost.
They've been
40 years
they've
ago.
been rebuilding since 1986.
They sound like the Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm
And,
sorry,
and
go
you know
ahead.
what it sucks? You know what sucks? It took a guy from Pittsburgh to bring them a championship. So
That's
how
true.
does that feel?
And
How
so, and
does
then
that
again,
feel?
comes back to us. Thank you,
dude that
Mike
was,
Ditka.
Same dude that was drinking the water I was drinking brought you a championship. Huh?
That's true. What else you got in the Yinzer mailbag, Tim?
Here we go. Fans are okay. This is kind of a statement question. Fans rallying around Mason. False hope, or is he the new Messiah?
I'll say. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
Was there more?
No.
I'll say this: if we beat the Ravens and somehow we get in, and we win that first playoff game, how can you not give him a shot with Kenny? And they're not going to bring somebody else in unless they go totally left field. How can you not give them a shot at the beginning of next year at camp next year?
If I was Mason, I'd stick out my middle fingers and be like, "You guys were pulling my chain for the past 3 years. I'm out of here."
Now, here's the thing. I mean, we see what he's doing for us. Are there other teams in the league that are like, yeah, that's our guy?
I don't know. That's the million-dollar question. Man.
I think the Steelers. Here's something that I've learned with the Steelers. Talking about Mason, perhaps the roster isn't as bad as we think it is. I mean, if you're talking about one piece, so maybe when we look at this next year's draft and these other things, they plugged a lot of holes this year. I think you have a good draft. You find yourself an inside backer. I'll tell you what, man, Stinkin', I think you found your shutdown corner for the next 10 years.
Thank you. Bear down, Chicago Bears.
I think you found him. But so then if you're just looking at a QB piece, then I mean you can bring in somebody or if you think you get somebody here draft.
If I have to hear Russell Wilson coming here
No,
again,
he's not
please no.
They're
please
not paying
no.
Russell Wilson
Please
to come here.
I wouldn't even give him Mitch money to come here. I don't want him here. I don't want him here.
Now, I have heard people talking about Kirk Cousins a little bit, but
No, don't want that.
what does he
either.
give you that Mason doesn't give you?
Kirk. No, let's stop there. Kirk Cousins is good. Kirk Cousins is good. I'm just not crazy about paying him $38 million.
They're not going to pay anybody like that. They're going to look at those two, and I can see them drafting somebody unless if they really think like somebody's going to come in that's young enough that they're like, we're going to take a swing at this guy, then maybe. That's why, to me, if I'm going to put some money into somebody out there, anybody that's got some upside potential that might be able to do something, I'm going after Fields. He'd be the only one that I would go after. Now, I don't know what it cost you. What do you think it cost you to get Fields?
I think you can get him for a third, a 3,
If you can get him for a third,
2, 3 in that area.
then you know what?
No.
Then pull the trigger.
But here's the kicker to it. He's got one more year. Then you got to pay him.
If he comes and he performs, pay him.
TJ, I don't know, man. Number 8 from Washington gave me the tingles watching him, dude. I think he may be there in the second round.
You know what? Grab him then. I like the kid from LSU too.
No, I do too. But all those guys are like fairly old.
Yeah.
The thing that's scary about Mason, he's only 2 years older than Kenny.
I know. So he's not. What
For
is he?
me-
He's got to
for-
be 28, maybe.
Yeah, for me, if I'm Mason, I'd give him a 2-year. If he think maybe 2-year, $21 million.
Yeah.
You're making as a backup, whatever, you get 2 years. What I would do if I'm the Steelers and I'm smart, say he does do what he does and he say he wins a playoff game or whatever, he could crash and burn next weekend for all we know. Just could be out the wall. I would mirror him with the same length as Kenny.
Yeah.
So you're giving him 2 years. Kenny's got 2 years before you pick up that option. Let them duke it out for 2 years and see what happens. That's what I would do if I'm smart, and then maybe either draft somebody later, develop somebody, try to in the later rounds, or go grab somebody off the scrap heap, and if they both stinking again next year, get a quarterback early. That's what I would do.
It doesn't hurt you. I mean, one of the things that San Francisco has proven is this: you can find quality later if you're willing to look for it. So, I mean, even when you look at Brady, greatest, They call him the GOAT. When did they draft Brady?
I mean, 6th-rounder. I get it, but that doesn't happen very often.
No, but it's not impossible. I mean, so I think if you can find a quality guy this year's got a big arm. I mean, let's look at Stroud. I mean, I thought he was going to be good. Did you think he was going to be this good this quick?
No, I thought he was going to be terrible. I thought he was like any other Ohio State quarterback.
I mean, he looks fantastic.
I mean, I hands down, I eat my crow on that one. I thought he was going to be brutal.
You look at Houston. They got two guys back to back, basically Deshaun and him. Now Deshaun looks terrible now, but I hate to see it. But
hate to see it.
Wouldn't it be great? How's this for a scenario? Somehow Cleveland and the Ravens meet in the playoffs, and Joe Flacco. I hate both teams, but Joe Flacco with the Browns takes out the Ravens.
Well, if you wanna flip out hypothetical scenarios, Steelers get in the 7th seed. They go to Miami. They beat Miami. Guess what plateau they're going to next? They head right to Baltimore.
Yeah, they go right to Baltimore, which I think we could deal with Baltimore.
And hypothetically, you see an AFC title game, you beat Baltimore. Hypothetically, you could be seeing Joe Flacco versus the Pittsburgh Steelers in Cleveland. TJ, nothing in my mind would if we had a shot at Cleveland at the AFC title game in Cleveland and we beat that scumbag of a fan base, TJ, nothing would make me more happier. Nothing. I would sit there, laugh. I'd go up there. They'd win. I'd jump in their river outside of whatever they're naked.
Just be like, that's Lake Erie, Tim. That's Lake Erie.
Whatever. With my Mason hat on. Saying,
Cleveland, the mistake on the lake.
Stink. You guys suck. That fan base talks more trash for not winning anything ever.
They do.
Ever. That fan base is cuckoo, muku, lungo.
They are. That would be fun. What
would
else
be
you
hilarious.
What else you got in the Yinzer mailbag?
Geez, my phone. Where's it going? The mush has a bunch of other stuff in here, but I don't want to be here for 2 hours. So what positions do you think they need to upgrade next year? We kind of went through that. So
yeah, no.
This is a wild statement.
Here's a question real quick.
This is a bear statement. Okay,
let me hear
I'm going to read this. Do you ride with Crazy Pickens another year, or would you be willing to trade him for a top 3 pick? To grab a top 3 pick. Now, I don't know if he means third round pick or like a top 3 pick. You're not going to give. If somebody told me, "Hey, you give us George Pickens, we'll give you one of the first 3 picks," I'm packing his bags. And I'm like, "Hey, dude, you have fun.
Take the deal." Yeah. You know what? I think if you feed him, he's fine.
Yeah. What make you think that, Teach?
Yeah.
Huh?
You feed
I
actually
saw him do a run and wrap through tackle. It was an incredible form that when Deontay Johnson basically fumbled the ball out of bounds. Pickens was a dude that just crushed that dude. I'm like, huh? His head's in the game.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, man. When they said I had my ups and downs about him being generational. The way he's playing now,
no, he is TJ. I told you, we'll be happy to get 3. I said when he was drafted, 2 to 3 years after, he's nasty. Yeah. TJ, he has over 1,000, I think almost 1,100 yards with 50 catches,
which is nuts. Which is absolutely
if
nuts.
he had the same amount of catches as Tyreek Hill,
he may have
2,800 yards.
I know. It's nuts. So here's a question.
That's what people don't see. He's like in the top 10 of receiving yards, and he has 50 receptions. The next guy that has the lowest of him, I think, we're like 90. He has 50 receptions, and he has over almost 1,100 yards.
Dude,
it's insane.
So you feed him the ball next year, he's a killer. So here's a question: where do you see Deontay next year?
I mean, he's here. He's going to be here
because next year's his last year of his contract.
He's under for another. You're going to keep him.
Yeah.
If you got this going on, if the offense looks like this, you got to keep him.
Yeah.
Right.
You grab another young receiver. Austin, I'm not really sold on Austin. He's not done.
They don't play him enough because they got. If you want to believe it or not, because I know they ran the ball so much. The guy they got from who's their third receiver? He played more than Deontay because he was blocking 90% of the time.
Peterson or Peterson? No.
No.
You talk about Bolden, Anquan Bolden, or no?
Not Anquan Bolden. The guy they got from the Rams.
Oh yeah, I know you're talking about
11. He was on the field. He was on the field the majority of the time. The guy he used to play for the Bears. Get rid
Yeah,
of Bear
that's
trash.
not Peterson. That's is that Pete? No, who is that's
I don't know what his name
I know
is.
who you're talking about. Yeah.
But yeah, he was on the field more than Deontay. But of course, they run the ball because you could tell when he's blocking. But Deontay didn't play it and played a lot. But you need Deontay because you need a guy that can get off of create his own space. Pickens is a different beast because he can just jump over people and do crazy stuff. So you keep him another year with this offense, keep everybody intact. Go get yourself a center.
Oh, they need a center. There's no doubt.
Go get yourself a center. I think you're going to be able to get Freiermuth fairly cheap. I would extend him. I would give him like a deal that they gave Cole Kmet's.
Yeah.
Maybe get him cheap because I think he's still going to be a factor. I think he's still good, if you're just using him as a pass-catching tight end.
Yeah.
We'll get into that against Ravens because I think that's going to be a dude that's going to have a game and a half this week.
I agree.
Last question from the mush here. We'll go here. Okay. If the Steelers make the playoffs, who do you think their best opponent would be? I think their options right now would be Buffalo, Miami, or KC.
I agree.
Who would you want them? Who would you feel most comfortable about them playing?
I think Miami's defense is a shell, but they could put up a ridiculous amount of points. I would say, but I'll tell you what, I mean, Mahomes makes me nervous, but KC is a shadow of what they were in the past. I would say, and then Buffalo, I mean, Allen's been great, but boy, he's not, he chucks the ball everywhere. I think he's got, aren't him and Mahomes tied for like interceptions this year?
I think so.
I would say if I had to pick one, it would probably be the
Mitch
weakest.
Mitch is probably somewhere in that vicinity too for playing 3 games.
Oh, he is. So I think Casey's defense is better than. I would say probably this. I mean, oh crap. I'm gonna say probably Buffalo. Well, even though they're coming in with a head of steam, maybe Miami, Who are you thinking?
Man, thought about this a lot. This may be a crazy thing to say.
Reed scares me. So I know the Chiefs aren't anything loaded like they've been in the past, but he's a schemer, man. You know, but the Chief wide receivers,
TJ, they match up so well against Kansas City.
Yeah, they stink.
No, they don't. No, they don't. No. Kansas City's not it because their tight end we can't cover tight end. So I just keep that real right now.
So what if you did something crazy and you shadowed? You threw a D-back on their tight end. Who else scares you in Kansas City?
Nobody. Mahomes scares the hell out of me. Well, their defense is good, and going to Arrowhead would be tough.
Yeah, I mean it's always a tough place to play.
To me, I'm. Oh man, that speed is going to be brutal because I don't think they're going to be able to play a track meet with Miami, man. Even though their defense is, I don't see them being able to cover anybody in their offense.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine our linebackers covering their running back coming out of the backfield?
No.
The dude runs like a 4.1.
No, not at all.
Oh, that'd be brutal to see.
Miles Barker-Lounger check.
Our linebackers look like
I think it's Buffalo.
The guy from Happy Gilmore that's running after.
I think it's Buffalo because I think it's nothing for Allen. He could throw 3 picks in a game, and if the Steelers' offense is playing the way that they are, we can capitalize on that. They're scoring points. If the Steelers' offense can put up 30 points,
yeah.
Who don't you think the defense will at least ratchet down most of these other teams to keep them under 30?
I don't know because I feel like Seattle should have probably went over 30 at some point, but
they
don't. I'm gonna probably say with you. I'll say Buffalo. No, because you know what? I made a comment a while ago. If Buffalo gets in, they're gonna win. I think they're gonna win the whole thing. So I'm gonna say, believe it or not, I'm gonna say KC. I think they can go up in KC and beat them.
KC's having some issues. They are. They're a one-trick pony right now with Kelsey. And Kelsey's great, but you know what makes Kelsey really good?
No, not KC. I'm sorry. It's Miami. No. I'm sorry. That because to me, the more I keep thinking about it, their defense is decimated.
It is.
The one way to keep their offense under check is to run the ball, and I think they would run the ball down their throats.
Oh, we would. Yeah, we would.
So Miami would be it.
But we need Miami to be tough this week and take out Buffalo.
Jeez. I mean, I've called it. I called it 3 weeks ago. When I saw that damn schedule come out, and I was like, Steelers are playing Saturday, and I saw the Sunday night game, I go, just as I predicted, I'm going to be up till midnight. And
Well,
somehow, some way,
if the Titans can take care of business with the Jags, which I don't think is going to happen.
They're not. They're not going to. I mean, even though I see
Vrabel
Vrabel getting all
fired up, man. Vrabel
I would love.
pretty fired up.
I would love. I'd be calm, cool. I'm going to be a nutcase Saturday and Sunday, 2 days. Normally it's just 1 day. It's going to be 2 days.
Yeah, we'll see. Anything else in the Yinzer mailbag?
No.
Okay. Well, that's it. If you got any questions for us, do you want to ask us, you can email us at yinzerbros@gmail.com and we'll get right with you. Let's talk about the Buffalo game or the Baltimore game. Good news is they're resting almost everybody that's important. Now, I heard somebody say this week, I just wanted to slap them. They're like, well, they got Huntley. Huntley is an all-pro quarterback. I'm like, bull crap. He won that last year. He went to by default. He stinks.
He went to the Pro Bowl because I declined my invitation to the Pro Bowl.
He stinks. So I don't know. I mean, I could see spite motivating, these guys to beat us. But again, with this team, I'm always holding my breath because I have no
TJ,
idea how
it's just going to be. I don't care if it's me and you playing in this game. A Steeler-Raven game is always going to be decided on the last possession. It just always is.
Probably.
It always. I don't care who's playing for the teams. It's you got half the dudes coming off the crabbing boats down in the Inner Harbor playing for the Ravens this week, and somehow I'm gonna be in fourth quarter. I'm gonna be going. I know it's gonna play out right now. I'm gonna be going fourth quarter. We're down. Or it's either tied or we're down by 2 points, and we need a drive. And I'm gonna be going. I think they should put in Kenny right now because I think he could just lead us with his fourth quarter drive. That's just gonna go through my stupid brain. I'm like. No. Mason's been okay this game, but if you want clutch, put in Kenny. He'll drive us right down here. Just dumb. Meatball brain.
So how on earth did we beat them earlier in the year?
Every one of their wide receivers was dropping passes right in their hands.
But I mean, even to have it come to that place, it's just crazy to me. There's something about me. I'm just thinking like, man, we have this thing over them. So, I mean, obviously their offense is going to be a little bit, they're resting all their main receivers. They're doing
a little bit
stuff.
TJ, a little bit. Have you seen their injury report?
I did. It's just stupid.
They are. I think they're pulling dudes out of the stands. They're like, you're sitting up.
They might be. So what do you think? I mean, obviously the offense for us, our identity now is we're going to punch you in the mouth. We're going to run the ball. And now
I don't think if you want my God of opinion, I don't think Baltimore's going to let us do that regardless. I think they're going to put 9 men in the box. No. Well, I don't know if they have an option because, dude, their whole secondary, the whole entire secondary, starting secondary is not playing.
That's
the
great.
Whole thing. I've never heard of that. I'm talking like the whole thing. I'm talking safeties, corners, everything. They're not playing. So to me, it's like when you don't have guys playing, you're probably going to have to vanilla stuff down. You're going to be probably running a lot of cover 2 shell. I'm thinking. Yeah. So they should run the ball.
Yeah.
But who the hell knows, man? Yeah. Who the hell knows? That's why I think Frymoose can have a big game in the middle of the field because I don't think they're going to they let Pickens beat them earlier in the year. Yeah. He's the one who caught that deep pass, kind of sealed it with 2 minutes with Kenny.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to let that happen again. So I'm thinking it's going to be either a Deontay game or it's going to be a big Mr. Frymuth game.
I think you're right. I think that they're poised to do something. I think the offense is going to be fine. So what do you do in this game if you get Mason? He comes out. And I know that they're a shell of what they're going to be, but let's just say that Mason throws for. I mean, they're running the ball good. Let's say Mason throws for I don't know, like 275, 280 with 2 tutties, no picks. Let's say he's like I don't know. Let's say he's like 17 for 22.
I heard a stat today because somebody brought this up today. I was listening to the radio. That stat that you just threw up, that stat, 270, Ben didn't even do that in Baltimore. He's never done it.
Wow.
Mason ain't doing that. So let's just get that out of our creative heads.
What if he does?
He ain't, TJ. He ain't. Well, but this TJ, he ain't gonna get 2 more 90-yard catches from dum-dums not doubling Pickens.
I think there's just something there. Again, they're resting so many guys. There's going to be a mismatch. There's going to be something wrong.
Mason stat line better be 15 for 19 for about 167 yards and a tutty. That better be his stat line.
That would be fine.
Because I better see Najee and Jalen Warren just run. Just pretend Bush is in the game again and just run. Whatever you did with that, just run. Because again, there's going to be some chunky white Greek dude at some point playing linebacker for the Ravens, being like, "I got 4 plays. I got 4 plays." Run at that guy.
I think they're going to be. I mean, I think they're going to be fine. I think even on the defensive side of the ball, even with maximum Lamar, it sounds funny, and maybe it's just I don't know if it's the Steelers scheme and how they fit with him. He's never scared me when we play against him because he turns into something else. Now, he's done really good this year. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. To me, I think he's taken a step. He's a great player, but he still has not shown yet that he can win the big games yet. Until you show me that, you know, I can't. I still think you're an imposter. You got to show me you can win the big games. I think the same thing with Allen.
You just came out and said Mason was going to throw for 275 and 2 tutties. And you don't believe Lamar can win a big game, but you're throwing Mason's stat line up there?
Well, I think this is funny. I think, and this is going to be weird, I think Mason's got nothing to lose. I think when you get to those big situations, Lamar gets tight. What does Mason have to lose? What's he going to do? Go back to be the third string guy again? He was a half a step from sitting on the couch for the rest of his life. What's he got? He's playing with house money. What does he got to lose? I think the Steelers are like that. They're loosey-goosey. Hey, we're just going to play. Just go put it out there. Get it done. You know what he's probably doing? He's like, I'm putting up tape for next year. If the Steelers don't take me, maybe somebody will put me on there. Maybe I'll be on a practice squad somewhere. I mean, looking at Mason, have you seen enough of Mason for a team to go, that's my future guy?
No, he's a backup.
Yeah.
But he'll make backup money, which is probably $10 million a year.
Could be. So what does he got to lose? I'll tell you what, one thing I do like, he does throw a heck of a nice deep ball. And he does have arm strength.
The reason why I can't, if you saw what the weather forecast is in Baltimore.
Oh, it's going to be rainy and terrible and icy and crazy.
He ain't throwing for 275.
Yeah.
That ain't going to happen.
Yeah. Well, then
that wouldn't happen if conditions are ideal. That ain't going to happen when the conditions are slush.
I just think, so again, it'll be interesting to me. So this is to me an athlete game. So this would be a time for, we're going to run, kill the ball. We're gonna throw to our tight end, and this is the time where these athletes like a George Pickens, when you hit him on slants, you hit him close, and there's one move and he's gone. I think he'll have his yards after catch, on Saturday will be ridiculous because he's big and he catches.
I don't think they're gonna let Pickens beat them. They're gonna force somebody else to beat them.
Well, let me ask you a question. I get that. Hey, we're gonna stop him. Well, you got your backups in. Can you?
I agree. I mean, Arthur Moulette is starting in their secondary. Again, I saw that dude couldn't cover me or you.
So I think it's great, but the question is, can you? Can you stop them?
Again, I'm not worried about the Steelers. I don't think I'm worried about the Steelers' offense. I am worried about their defense. I'm worried about Baltimore lining up, and even though they got backups in, still being able to run it right down their throats. Because I'm sorry, from what I saw last week, I don't know why Seattle ever went away from the run. Because I
think Dalvin Cook got hurt.
But still, they should have just, whoever their backup was, I would have just continued to run because the Steelers were getting gashed by the run, and they just stopped running. So to me, Baltimore ain't going to do that. You're going to see a lot of Gus Edwards and a lot of Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, but does Baltimore ever run super effectively on the Steelers? I think for whatever reason we match up very well against them.
There's just a big difference when you got our normal starting linebackers in the game. You're going to be running it. I mean, you're going to be running it. You're going to be running it 1-6 and 3-8.
Yeah,
I don't know where they're saying Robert's supposed to play. Mm-hmm. Dude, I don't know how effective you're going to be when your pecs tore playing middle linebacker.
I get you. So I mean, so it's going to be wet. It's going to be colder. It's going to be nastier. So I mean, you need, this is a bruising, angry, quick slashing kind of stuff. let's see. I think in that category, again, I think we hold the advantage, and I think if we can run the ball, we have the time of possession. I mean, you know why Seattle got away from the run? They fell behind.
Yeah, I agree.
They got to start chucking the ball.
I don't think it's been one of those. It's never been one of those games in Baltimore where you fall behind. It just hasn't.
Yeah,
We play Baltimore, it just hasn't. And
Tim,
I'll tell you the other X factor.
It's Mason Rudolph.
61 having a snap in good weather.
I know it's bad.
Is frightening. In bad weather, it's like he dips his hand in grease before he goes out.
It's bad. I know.
What is he doing? He's got oil on the side. He's like, maybe this will help.
bad.
Then he goes out in the field. He's like, it's either that
I don't
or
remember.
He has the sweatiest hands I've ever seen on a human being in my life.
I don't remember him being this bad last year.
You know what I think? I think they should measure his hands. I bet he got smaller hands than Kenny.
He might. I don't know, man. Didn't Herbig? Wasn't he a little bit of a center too?
Yeah.
So why aren't we seeing him, man? Cole
I don't know.
Does he have
I don't
pictures
know.
on somebody with? I mean, what is
Dude,
going on?
like again, I thought I was like he's trying to play against Michigan. He has no more eligibility left. What's he doing? And you know what's gonna drive me nuts is in the 2004 NFL draft with their 5th round pick, center, Alabama, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going, what the hell is going on?
Actually, it was funny. He transferred already. Did you see that? He entered the transfer portal.
I would have had that immediately the day after the game, but like transfer portal.
He was gone. Somebody in Alabama was like, boy, you got to get out of here.
That dude's going to be playing at CCAC. That's where he's going to be at.
It was bad. And what a terrible play call. That they take a timeout. They do all that stuff to do a QB sneak up the middle behind a center. That stinks. He was
Dude,
so bad.
I called the whole play sequence. I was like, the 2 plays before, I was like, Michigan's gonna score here on this down. They did, and then after I was like, he's gonna get stuffed at the 1 yard line. I just wait, it's gonna happen. A quarterback sneak, and I think he was stuffed at the 3 yard line. I'm like, the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life, man.
No, it's like Matt Canada was in there with wearing his Crimson Tide shirt.
Yeah, he did. He had one of his golf hat on. Like,
I'm your guy. I wonder where he's gonna land.
He's Aliquippa. That's where he's landing. Gateway.
Oh, jeez. So, what's your score prediction for Saturday, Tim?
I'm still sticking with my guns. I said after the game they lost, they're going to win the next 3 games. And TJ, I can't believe this actually came true. I can't believe it. I mean, the prediction I had from like week 4 has came true. It's going to be like this all year,
Tim. You're like
which is insane. Which is insane.
Incredible.
And, hey, TJ, I hit over that 8.5.
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
Tim may be going to the islands. That's it. So, there's no way that I can see this game being a blowout either way. It's going to be I don't care who's playing. It's a classic Steeler-Raven game. I think the Steelers are going to win. Last second field goal, 20-17.
Oh, that's a good one. I'm going to go a little different route. I think the Steelers I think Baltimore's going to turn the ball over 3 times. Mm-hmm. And I think Steelers are going to win 27-10.
I hope so.
And I think I'm going to make a call here. We're going to have 1 defensive touchdown. There'll be a pick 6.
Because I want to at least have a calm day on Saturday, me being able to watch and be like, okay, now the fun's going to begin on Sunday. That's where I'm almost like I'm almost like looking past Saturday because I'm dreading Sunday so much.
You're going to be a Titans fan and you're going to be a Dolphins fan.
TJ, it's not going to happen. I'm going to call that right now. It's not. Jacksonville's going to blow out. They're going to blow out. I feel like they're going to blow.
Wait, is whatchamacallit?
Don't care. I don't care. Just because it's just, it doesn't matter. Just because it's me, they're going to blow out Tennessee. And then, in heartbreaking, ripping my soul out fashion, like I see like Buffalo winning like on a last second field goal, and me falling to my knees and just going, why? And like all I keep thinking is, now we're 10-7 and we got the 23rd pick in the draft.
Hey, but just so you know, Buffalo never wins on last minute field goals. Last second field goals. They have a track record.
TJ, my heart was never involved in Buffalo's losses. So as soon as Timoteo's heart gets involved, it's going to be like.
Well, I hope we pull it out. We'll find out. So our next podcast, guys, will either be a victory one where we're steaming ahead toward the playoffs, or it'll be filled with sadness.
Who are we kidding? If they lose or if they don't make the playoffs, you won't hear from us again until draft.
No, you
draft
won't.
month.
You won't. No, you won't.
Kid.
No, we'll
Who
be.
you
we'll
kid?
Be,
We'll be
we
doing,
would have moved
we'll
on to
doing
Penguins
mock,
hockey.
We'll be doing mock drafts going. Guess who we're stuck with after Mason went 3 for 22 against Baltimore. We'll be like, get Mason out of here.
That's right.
Our quarterback room's gonna be Kenny and a bunch of guys we never heard of ever. Case Keenum.
I know. It's going to be terrible. All right. Well, that does it for the Yinzer Bros today. Again, if you like what you hear, pass it along to your friends and your neighbors. Everybody, we need more subscribers. Subscribe, hit the bell ding, and you get all this brand new content. We'll have some road trips again next year. It's great. Again, I'm TJ. I'm here with my brother Tim, and we're the Yinzer Bros. Stay classy, Pittsburgh.
Still number 1 out here, all right?
See you guys.